All right, Pirate fans, welcome out to the Pirates Cove podcast. This will be episode number 36, part 2. Earlier, we had an interview with some of our volleyball players. Our powerlifting state champ was on too. So we'll be uploading those videos tonight when we're done with this podcast. And then we had also an interview with our middle school coordinator, football coach, Joey Hossel. So those videos will be uploaded tonight. And so now we go to part 2, and this is where we break down and preview the Rockport-Fulton Pirates football and volleyball games. So I'm going to pass it over to Big T Tony Pena, and he's going to lead us.
All right. So here we go. We're going to talk about the Sinton game. Fellas, I know y'all got a lot to say. So let's get it started right now. Let's go with the offense first. Steve, I think you're itching to say something, so I'm gonna let you go first. Steve, what was your thought on this 28-21 loss that Rockport took to Sinton last Friday? Give me your take on the offense.
Well, I tell you what. To start off, I think both teams offensively they stumbled out of the gate. I think they were both probably equally as nervous, having each other as opponent, and what I saw is that they both kind of brought a different wrinkle to their offense that might have gotten them off. It might have been the reason why they started off so sluggish in that first half. Honestly, both quarterbacks threw a pick early in the first quarter, giving up the ball. Both teams had inside the red zone possessions during that first half. You could just really tell, you can get a sense that they were just nervous coming out of the chute, and once they woke up, boy, did they get it going. They got it going. I honestly, I think that they're running a new wrinkle. They're running John Chupi. John Chupi got a higher number of carries this week than what he had been averaging. But I thought they were trying to go to him earlier. They were just with some newer plays, a little different wrinkle, blocking assignments that they had the boys doing, and they look out of sync. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they were running into each other. They're double teaming when they didn't need to, and there was free guys running. You know what I'm saying? So what I saw defensively for Sinton, they were slashing. They were slashing in, and while we're trying to pull, they're sliding in behind us, and so we were actually making holes for these guys, and they were just free runners coming in. And so it was tough for Ace and the boys to have any time. So, but I mean, hats off to those guys. They had a great defensive plan. I thought Sinton did. They attacked us in a way that the boys hadn't seen, and I don't know if the coach weren't expecting it, but they were attacking us in a way that we hadn't seen, because I seen too many free guys running around, too many free defenders, and they were like I said, undercutting our plays, and they were there to make the tackles, and it's just hard to move the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to move the ball that first half.
All right. Johnny, do I have Johnny on? I don't see the screen. Johnny, what are your thoughts on the offense? How do you think Sinton did? How do you think Rockport did? What are your thoughts overall on both of the offenses?
Well, I wasn't surprised how the game started. Really, these are two great teams battling at each other. Nobody's going to expect a high scoring game that first half. I was loving that first half, just back and forth, get rid of it. Who's going to score? Sinton scored a couple times to start off, but we didn't let them get out of hand. So our offense did struggle a little bit, but I wasn't shocked at all. I was pretty well expecting that. As Steve was saying, Chupi did have a few carries, more than usual. Yeah, that Sinton team was flying to the ball. Their backside linebacker knew how to cut through the hole, and get it in there. We did burn them a couple times, especially on that dump pass. And I think a video that I didn't notice before about that pass interference where we're like our receiver, the inner receiver was cutting across, got pushed while he was about to catch the ball. Pretty well got mugged behind that. If you look back on it, that was a touchdown because both linebackers, they went for the run. I mean, the whole offense went for the run, and there was nobody back there. So the plan was there. I mean, everything was working. It's just, you play a tight team like Sinton. Every play pretty much got to be perfect. You ain't going to get the calls either way. Referees miss it, here and there. They're not perfect. That's why they're high school coaches. Considered secondary coaches, pretty much. I mean, referees. That's what I mean. Secondary referees. But Sinton's offense, man, is just they were grinding. That's I can't talk down to neither both of the teams. I can't say anything negative. Overall, this game was just remarkable. I mean, we saw the dramatic comeback at the end. That was I seen maybe 50 people walking down the stands. Once we fumbled the ball in our own territory. And all of a sudden there's a fumble, and I was all like, oh yeah, we got a chance. And all of a sudden I didn't even see the play start. I don't know what I was doing. I was looking away or whatever. But the next day I know that ball's in the air, and I see Luke, right?
Yeah, it was Luke.
He caught the ball, and I was just thinking, dude, don't drop it. And when he caught that, man, it was like every player that was running for that ball, he was running. The players were running. I mean, they were giving all their effort. You could see how tired those players were in that fourth quarter. It took forever for that play to finish. So you could tell the entire game, these kids, both sides of the ball, were going hard. Luke never gave up. I mean, the other players never caught ground, never lost ground. They're defensive players. So, I give it up to Luke. Congratulations, Luke. That was one great play that you finished off. But I was kind of disappointed with our rush offense, really. But again, that's a Sinton team that's, they ain't no mediocre team. So I think we had I said it was 31 carries for, was it 100 and something yards?
132.
30 for 132.
So that's obviously not our stat right there, but hey, it don't matter. I'm giving a little highlight to the backs, where they, the Caller Times came up with their stats, for the area stats. And Chupi, only has 55 carries, for 615 yards. That's 11.18 yards a carry. You got the top guys. Epi Hinojosa from Cal, and that boy has 87 carries for 749 and only 8.6 yards a carry. And then you have Rene Galvan with 84 carries at 729, again 8.67. While Chupi's hitting at 11.18, and he ain't the only one. You have Devin at 453 yards on 45 carries at 10 yards a carry, 10.07 yards. So we got two players in the top 10, and they're both averaging over 10 yards to carry, so it shows you how great we're doing through the season. It's just we ran into a tough Sinton defense that came well prepared for that run offense.
Yeah. Well, I think, honestly, like I said, after watching the tape, there's something else in that blocking scheme that they were doing that was leaving guys uncovered. I can't say that enough. There was something different. What I'm saying? I get, they got athletes over there, and they're gonna make some plays, and but just too many. It was more than one guy. It was more than just that backside linebacker that was getting 3. That entire line was in Ace's face and arms around our guys every single play. Numbers, you want to talk numbers. John only averaged 5.9 this, 5.9 yards a carry. And he had 17 carries for 100 yards. You have to tip your hat to the Sinton defense. They really did come out with a great game plan and did what they were supposed to do. And I mean, our guys equally did as well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they kept both of those guys under their averages, saying both the Galvan boys. So, I mean, both of our defense came to play, but we'll touch on that. Ace had, let's see. Ace only had 5 completions that night. He had 15 attempts. He had only five completions on 15 attempts, threw 2 touchdowns for 159 yards. And like I said, pressure in his face the whole game. He was forced to scramble. He took a couple of tough sacks or where we lost momentum and stuff like that. But and also, I mean, listen, and Jay will understand. I mean, he knows I'm a Rockport guy. I'm through and through. But I have to say something about. I mean, there was like some breaking the momentum, man. We'd bust a big play running the ball, and then we kind of go to a pass, and then maybe lose play, lose yardage on that pass play, and we were always playing from behind the sticks. I guess that's the nicest way I can say it. We were always playing behind the sticks. We were always chasing that first down, and it was always 3rd and long, and we struggled to make plays on 3rd down. I know I got the third down conversions in my stats, but I don't have them at my fingertips. So, but I know they were down. Our 3rd down percentage had to be extremely low for that game. I don't think we did well on 3rd downs, and that's big, right? When you're playing a tough game like that, you got to be able to at least win the field position. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand you can't score every drive, but as far as field position, where you end up giving up the ball, whether we went for it on 4th down or we punted, it just seemed that we were never we were never on the good side of the field position game. You know what I'm saying? We were never on the good side. So, I just think I know the boys will be better for it. I know they're going to bounce back. There's no doubt in my mind that we don't drop another game in district play. And I'm hoping that these guys down the road get another shot at Sinton, and we'll see what happens. I know that the field conditions were terrible on those edges. I mean, you were basically walking on, 2, maybe 3 inches of mud beneath that grass. I walked the field after the game, and the reason why it looked like Luke took so long, and probably the reason why those guys couldn't catch Luke on that long touchdown run, because it was so grimy on the edges. The middle of the field was nice and dry, but the edges were bad, bro. It was crazy. It was crazy bad. And maybe that was, part of the reason why we struggled on the edges defensively too. I don't know, but I mean, just walking the field after the game, anything on that outside edge is going to be tough to get in. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty wet out there.
Yeah, I agree. There was some. It just seemed like, to me, what I saw. First of all, 2 evenly matched teams. I don't think one team is a lot better than the other. I think Rockport could have won the game. I believe that. I still believe that, no matter what the outcome showed. But what I saw, or what I felt as a fan, is I don't feel Rockport played Rockport's game. What do I mean by that? Rockport runs the ball. You know what I mean? And you said it yourself, we break off a 30-yard run, 20-yard run, 15-yard run, and we go straight to the pass. John had 17 carries for 100 yards, but those 17 carries were in between a few passes. He couldn't get hot. Devin only touched the ball 4 times. So again, didn't have time to get hot. I think we got to let those guys get hot, and run the plays that the boys have been perfecting thus far, to execute. I mean, they've been practicing executing those, and we talked about some of those simpler games that we played against, with the Ranzes, with King. It's all about execution. It wasn't about playing a tough team. It was about executing their plays, and they did that. They executed those plays in those preseason games. It wasn't about playing a tough team. It was just about working on execution, and they did that. And then we come to Sinton, and we talked about it all year long. The passing brings a different dynamic to the offense. It really does. But completing 33%, and only getting 30 touches on the ground, it just seems like we didn't do what Rockport does. I think the boys, man, they fought like men on that field, keeping that game as close as they did. I mean, it's super impressive. It's super impressive how they came back and they kept coming back. It's super impressive how they did that. And I mean, from a fan, I mean, those boys put it all out there. They really did. And it was such a great moment to watch those ups and downs. And I wish things would have, fell our way. But I tell you what, those guys, they fought and they fought and they fought. You know what I mean? And it was just so exciting to watch. I know how those games feel to lose because I've been there before. But man, those boys, they fought for each other. I saw 11 men on the field fighting for each other. That's what I saw on offense, and that's what I saw on defense. They ran the plays that were given to them, and they did the best they could. Steve, I didn't notice anything different with the blocking scheme. I did notice that Ace did have a lot of white jerseys in his face every time he dropped back. I did notice that, but I wasn't really, paying attention to the blocking scheme change. I didn't notice that. I just think that we didn't do what we do, which is really run the ball down other teams' throats. You know what I mean? I mean, look at last year, John rushes for 300 yards against a second round playoff team. You know what I mean? Who's to say he couldn't do that if he gets hot? I don't know. We don't know, but we hopefully, like you said, hopefully we do get the chance to see that again, in the playoffs. And I think that both teams executed, not executed, but I think both teams came with the thirst to win this game. I mean, they really, really wanted this game, and it showed because both teams fought hard. I got to give it up to Sinton for the effort that they put in to get ahead and stay ahead and come back when they had to come back. It's just a great all around game that I'll remember forever. I think the boys will remember forever. So that's my take on the offense. Gabriel, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, not many teams, can stop Rockport's offense, even when we've been in the playoffs. Every now and then you get a team that can. And I think Sinton just, they were set on stopping the run. That's what they were going to do. And so had we ran the ball more, could we have gotten more yards or controlled the ball? I mean, I can see your point. Running the ball, controlling, letting the offensive guys get into a rhythm. I don't think we did. And it hurt us to an extent, but they were coming in, man. I saw the video. Almost every play they were shooting. And, the way Rockport likes to run the ball and our guards pull, they come, like Steve said, they're coming right in. And those few seconds that it takes to get it, they're coming in, they're disrupting, whether they're making the play or not. When John comes around, they're in the backfield, he's got to take a wider turn. Those few seconds gives those other guys a chance to get him. So they couldn't get into a flow. And I think Coach Cyber knew that that's what they were going to do, or he had an idea. So he went to the pass. The pass is something that we're still working on, but he took a chance, changed the offense, it didn't work. I mean, some of those plays, like when Luke was open, I see him running. They were thinking they were going to get a safety. Prior to that play, they thought they had a safety. So they thought we were going to run it. They all shot in. Luke comes out, dump, and there's nobody there. So I thought it was a good game plan to try to change it. Just didn't work for us. And I'm not so sure what our run could have done. With the way that Sinton's defense was playing, they were playing the run. And for John Chupi to still get 100 yards the way Sinton was playing, hats off to John. I mean, he still ran. And a lot of those yards he got, he had to do it on his own. He was breaking tackles, swinging back and forth, getting it. So to get 100 yards or more in that game for him says a lot about the type of back that we have. Moving forward, I think we're going to be better. Not many teams can stop it. And you take your hats off to Sinton. I think they had been working on this offense since the season started. That wasn't a week. They've been planning. And I think Cyber knew they were going to try to stop the run. So, he tried something different. It didn't work to the point that, we got more than 21 points. But, the boys played hard. And at the moment, you want to win so bad. But when I woke up on Saturday morning, I was proud of the boys.
Yeah.
I thought they played good. I don't think there was anything to hang your head down on for our Pirates. And, the thing that I didn't think, like you said, Tony, one team was better. I thought they were evenly matched. And I thought it was going to come down to turnovers, penalties, or special team play. Something like that. Whoever had the ball last, penalties, turnovers, or special team play was going to win this game. And they got the ball last. And Renee made a great throw. I mean, and, Ricky Franks, you're there. But sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. And we didn't. And, they made a great play. Doesn't define who Rockport is. We're still a hell of a football team. And I think you're going to see that against Rio Hondo. And this loss may teach our offense. Our coaches are going to see things that maybe they didn't see before. Make the adjustments in case we meet this team again or another team. But it was one heck of a game, guys. And even though we came on the short end of the stick, man, I loved every minute of it. And I'm so proud of the boys for the way they played. And if we meet them again, we definitely got a shot to win it next time.
I mean, you made a point as far as Chupi running the ball.
Yeah.
He did have a great game. I mean, all you ask from a running back is 4 yards. You go for 4, you get more. That's always stuck in my head from my junior high coach. Speaking of junior high, and that was being a running back. You go for 4, you're going to get more. So that's all you ask from a running back. So mathematically, he should have had maybe just 84 yards total in this game. Off of 17 carries. So he did have 5 yards of carry ain't bad at all.
No doubt. And something else to add to Gabriel's point, that what I was going to say, I thought you were going to elaborate on it, Z, was so what I saw was like there's a big chunk. There's 2 plays that stick out in my mind. I can see it in my head. Is that John actually broke the play off away from the blocking because that stuff was covered. You know what I'm saying? So when I talked about the blocking assignment, it was we didn't adjust to what they were doing. They were undercutting, we pulling, and they were undercutting our stuff. They were slashing and wherever it was coming from. When I saw John make 2 of the plays, that the bigger runs that he made, it was all John went away from the blocking scheme and made an individual effort to gain yards because that other stuff was covered. Joey and them didn't. It was the lineman, the other guard that was pulling. It wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? They had blown that up. You know what I'm saying? It was like they had 15 guys on the field. It's what I thought I saw. You know what I'm saying? They had it. That's how many bodies that I'd see that were around the ball. So no, John did a hell of a thing, but I seen him bounce it off script because he had to, because what we had set up wasn't there. So, I mean, hats off to John for I'm telling you, if he gained 100, he probably gained 60 of it off him. You know what I'm saying? Just off him, off to his athleticism, his vision for the field, that he broke off the play and went and got some yards that way. So, I mean, honestly, I just think we gotta, because here's the thing, and this is just me. I don't know, buddy. People are going to watch this tape, and although they may not have the athletes to do it, this is a copycat league. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to try to do what Sinton did. I guarantee you, when we go to Rio Hondo, we're going to see that same defensive look that Sinton gave us. They're going to, and now, like I said, you know, not everybody can execute the you know, not everybody has the players that Sinton has down there, but everybody's going to do it. I guarantee you. From here on out, they're going to say, this is how you neutralize Rockport. Let's do this. And then they're going to try to, and then we're going to see how it works out. But, you know, I don't know, you know.
Well, but I think that's where Tony's hitting his point is when you run, because we just talked about John, you get that one big play. Sinton makes one mistake and these guys can blow it open. And that's what I agree with Tony as far as the run. Was sticking with the run a little bit more was because what's in that backfield is one mistake from Sinton, one missed block or one missed assignment, and boom, we score. So I think that's probably where, you know, we didn't stick to it a lot. But like I said, you know, these coaches know each other very well. And, you know, one thing, because they were shooting in every play, just about. I mean, that they were going to stop the run no matter what. They were keyed on that, and you can tell that. And so sometimes when you do that, hey, you know, we got a quarterback that's pass.
Yeah.
And I think, like Steve said, you know, the adjustment to what they were doing, you know, Ace just didn't have enough time to throw that ball. You know, they were on him. He was trying, you know, to buy himself a little bit more time when usually he can roll out and usually make those plays. And those Sinton guys are fast. You know, he couldn't get to the outside. Sometimes he'd step in wanting to get to the outside, you know, because he'd done that so many times, and then he just couldn't get out there. And so you credit that defense. But I think this is going to be a learning experience for our coach. I mean, they're going to learn from this. And they're going to see, just like teams are going to see and how they think they can stop. And they're going to, you look at Sid's defense. I think our offensive coaches are going to look at the tape. They probably already have, and see what adjustments need to be made. Because they know in district, there may not be nobody that, if they do that, can stop Rockport, because Rockport's got so many good athletes this year. But you get in that playoffs, and those second, third round teams, those Cueros, Navasotas, they'll be watching the Wimberleys, how they stop that. So our coaches will make the adjustments, I think.
Yeah. I don't think it was the, you know, amount of passes. I mean, he's 15 passes. That's probably what he's averaging. You know what I'm saying? That it wasn't, it was when, it was what time, where you're at in that drive. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's not about how many pass attempts. It's when you attempted it. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, a lot of them are extended handoffs. A lot of them, those little bubble screens, they tried to screen a couple of times, you know, but the pressure he had on him, you know, the blocking wasn't there, or, you know, might have sailed the ball a little bit. I remember once where he threw it a little high. Yeah, no. My gripe, I mean, hey, we have to have that. We have to have that passing game. And you know, there's no way that I would want to see his attempts go down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's when in the drive he decided to. So
and that's the point that I'm making. It, you know, after John runs the ball for 30 yards, that boy has I mean, he's a steam engine. You know what I mean? You keep giving it to him, he keeps going. He doesn't need a break after a 30-yard run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's exactly what happened in that drive, right?
Yes, it was 30-yard run, and then we threw a pass. And that's what I mean. I don't mean he can't throw 15 passes. I mean, you're right. That's not a lot of passes. It's right after a run. Like, let's get them while they're on their toes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't count. I didn't watch. I didn't break the film down that much, but I don't know how many plays he ran where he actually lost yards. He may have made it to the line of scrimmage, but I don't know how many plays he actually lost yards.
I don't think so. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm talking about. You know, you're going to catch him once, you're going to catch him twice, but you're not going to catch him on every down. He could get you that 20, that 30, or that touchdown once he gets past that second level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And back to the pass, like I said, I'm not saying we shouldn't pass, because we should. I tell you what, Ace did a tremendous job on that last play, getting scrambling around. I saw all the linemen picking up blocks, and he makes a good throw. If John catches that ball at the end, he scores, and we're
Yep.
back in the game. It
Yep,
hits
there
him in
was
the
no-
hand. I mean, he made a tremendous quarterback play. That offensive line, they did an excellent job picking up blocks while Ace was back there scrambling. He makes a great throw on his way down to his, getting tackled from behind. On his way down, makes a great throw. You know what I mean? So it's not about not passing. It's about, like you said, and that's perfect. You said it perfect. It's when the pass happened. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. That's what I meant by you gotta let them get hot. You know, you can't take him right off of a 30-yard, unless he comes to the sign and says, "Coach, I need a break." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I know him, and I don't think that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I know him.
Yeah. No, and that drive that they went to score, not the one that they threw the touchdown to Luke, but the drive that they had before that to score the 14th, right? When, there was a sense of urgency. Boom, boom, boom. Well, they just scored. We got the ball. I saw John get the ball like 3 times in a row. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? So they went to it on that drive, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to run the ball with John," and John was just eating them up, chunks, 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 chunks. Then we got down there to score. But and that's what I'm saying. When we went to Rockport ball and just, hey, let's feed John. Let's run the ball. Let's, you know what I'm saying? We marched the ball down the field. I mean, we just literally marched the ball down, and there was some passes in there. I mean, don't get me wrong. On that drive, there were some big passes, but it's just, I mean, feed that joker. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not.
We live and learn, guys. We live and learn.
Yeah.
We live and learn. I mean, I definitely agree with what Steve's saying. I mean, it was the win. And we don't know what goes into the game plan, right? But I know we're going to fix it, and we're going to get better at it. But it was still one heck of a game, guys. I'm proud of my boys. They came out and
One of
played
the
with a lot
best
of
games
heart.
I've ever seen. One of the best
Ever.
games I've seen,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, so that was the offense. What about the defense? Johnny, you're a defensive guy. And the first half, this was the whole game was a defensive game. I mean, nobody offensively actually shined in this game. What are your thoughts on the defense on both sides? Because it was a very, very much defensive game.
Yeah, this is the kind of game I was expecting. In fact, I was even expecting 28 points, scored, or even 21 points scored. I was looking more down to the 14 down below. I was very shocked once these teams started pulling away after a while. I guess sometimes you get tired on that defense. Your mind's not there anymore, and that you don't have that traction. Offense always has that advantage on a wet field because they know the count. They got that first step on you. And so that leverage is always going to go for the offense, So defense, I guess I can't be surprised that defense did collapse on both sides at one time. Steve was saying, it was on the edges. It was pretty well sogging wet. I have nothing negative to say about our defense. I mean, yeah, we gave up 28 points, but hey, they fought for those 28 points. One was pretty well given to them at the end, So I have to throw that in there, with a pass interference, in which, hey, I want to ask y'all, is there any kind of face guarding in high school?
No.
Okay, that's the only thing that could have been called on that. I guess this guy watches too much NFL.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he did. But there was nothing there, man. Nothing there. I don't know what the rule is in high school where, like, is there any kind of face guard? Does he have to make a turn and, towards the ball, whatever? That's the only thing that could be negative on that. But I don't know the rules in high school football as far as that goes. Pretty well known as face guarding, But
Are you referring to the play right before the half
no, at the end.
with Caden Kennedy? Or that was before halftime.
There was one. Here's the crazy. There was one that was called, and then there was one that wasn't called. He did the same
I'm
thing
talking
twice.
the one in the end zone, 4th down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fourth and long.
They ended up not scoring on that drive. We stopped them right before the half. That was right before halftime. Where he throws his hands up.
Yeah.
That was right before halftime because I watched it. I thought it was
Why
in
was
the
I
end
thinking
too.
that was the winning drive?
No, that was
No.
right before halftime. They kicked the field goal and I don't know what happened. We were offsides or something. They got another try at it.
No.
No, they did score.
We called timeout.
No.
We called
We
timeout.
called timeout.
And then they went for it.
Then they went for
it. And they called pass interference. So they got another play out of it. And that's when Ricky stuffs them on the outside. And they didn't end up scoring. And then we go to halftime. Yeah, that was right before halftime where he picks his hands up in the end zone and he didn't make no kind of contact.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
And you can't blame the kids, for that play at the very end. I mean, these kids are going hardcore. The only thing is the receiver got behind him. So he lost him. You get somebody behind you, you lost him pretty much. You don't know what he's gonna do. If he's cutting in, he's gonna slant out, he's gonna stop. That was the only thing. He lost contact with him. But man, he tried all his best, try to stay up and try to knock that ball down. You can't take that away from that kid. One of the most frustrating games, but these kids went all hard the entire game. Just all around. I mean, again, I'm going to bring up that the one thing I saw Mr. McAllister put up on Facebook, and I just had to bring it up. With the tackles, the tackles around the area. Also listed in the Caller Times. With the McAllister having 57 tackles, Joe Moreno at 46 tackles, and Krupa at 45 tackles. So 3 of these guys are in the top 10 in the area and tackles. Now, one point he made on there is everybody has 5 games. We only have 4. So it shows you that our defense is there. And it's nothing negative about this game. 28 points is a lot, but man, that's a good back and forth game. That's you can't take nothing. I have nothing negative to say about the defense.
I
forgot to bring up one thing. Now, we all talked about all season about how Sinton was going to run that outside. Well, you know what? They didn't do that outside. It was all over tackle. So they changed it up. I guess they saw what our outside can do now through all these games, and they I guess they dug a little bit, going over tackle. So they changed it up from last year to this year, because last year was all outside. This year was all over tackle, off of tackle.
Yeah, I want to just comment on the game winning drive. I tell you what, I watched that play 30, 40 times. And Ricky did what he was supposed to do. That quarterback was rolling out opposite side. His eyes were following the quarterback. His guy was already there. You know what I mean? He's following the quarterback's eyes. The quarterback makes a throw to the opposite side of the field. I mean, it was just an amazing play. I mean, Galvan did a great job fooling that secondary. I mean, he rode all the way out to the left, turns. His eyes were never looking that way.
But you gotta remember about him. He's left-handed.
What I'm saying is his eyes were never looking over there.
Yeah.
He was looking at this side of the field, and he turns, and it's like if he just closed his eyes and threw it. I don't know. He just threw it to that corner. He must have said, "Be there." You know what I'm saying? Because his eyes, I watched that play. His eyes were never looked over there. His eyes were looking over here, and he throws it to the opposite side of the field. I mean, Ricky's following the quarterback. He's got his defender. He's got his receiver close by. But when that quarterback's rolling out the opposite side, you're thinking, is somebody coming across? Do I got to make a stop? You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going in your head, and that quarterback
But
turned
you
around.
can't leave that. You can't leave him behind you though.
It was
cannot leave him behind
inches.
you.
It was inches. It was inches. He almost makes a play on that ball. It was inches. You know what I mean? You got to understand what was going on in his head. It's the last play,
But you guys,
opposite side of the
cannot
field.
leave your receiver past you on the last play.
I don't
You
know, man.
cannot leave your receiver past you
He
on the
was
last
following
play.
that quarterback. He was following that quarterback. In the NFL and college, they get burned all the time. That play, I saw him following that quarterback. His receiver was an arm length away. You know, he sees that ball coming. He says, "Oh hell!" Jumps back and almost makes a play on that ball.
Yeah, I
So,
saw that. That was the great.
I mean, the quarterback did an excellent freaking damn job fooling the secondaries. What happened? That's what happened on that play. It wasn't bad defense. That quarterback did a damn good job confusing the defense by rolling out that way. It wasn't even a bootleg. It looked like he was for sure going over there. It wasn't like it was a bootleg. He didn't fake and roll out. He went straight that way. Like he was throwing on that side of the field. His head never passed the halfway point. His eyes were over here. He turns real quick and makes that throw. That's just nuts. Great quarterback play is what happened right there. And then the other thing that I wanted that I didn't really pay attention to, but now that I think about it, I'm wondering if Sinton had a plan for Peyton, because Joe picked up a lot more tackles this game, and I heard Joe Moreno a lot more than I heard Peyton, and I'm wondering if Sinton said we got to keep number 18 out of the play, and he was in the plays, not that he wasn't, but Joe was first contact most of the time, so. I wonder if they had a plan defensively to keep Peyton out of the plays. I don't know. What did you see on that, Steve? Tell me what you think.
I tell you what, if they had a game plan to keep Peyton out of the play, they freaking failed. Okay, they failed, because if that was their plan to keep Peyton out of the play, then that means that Peyton was probably going to be getting 25, 30 tackles, because he got 18 tackles this game. All right, Joe Moreno got 17 tackles. So, I mean, if their thought process is, hey, let's get Peyton out of the game, they failed. They didn't do a good enough job because Peyton had 18. I think that might be his highest tackle for this season. I think that's his highest total.
Most of Renee's runs was to the left side.
Yeah,
pretty much they were trying to get away from
yes.
James. So, like, you could see, you could see perfectly how Joe was running that. I mean, perfectly, just parallel, with the quarterback the whole way, know. So he read that play easy. I mean, like I said, the outside wasn't working for him this game. Anything outside where Renee was trying to get it out there, you had Joe over here, and then you had McAllister on the other side, pretty well chasing the quarterback, running with the quarterback the whole way, But that's what I said, they changed it up this game, like going over tackle.
I think they probably made a strategy call. I think they knew that they'd be slower if they ran to the outside because of the field condition, and they were faster in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And stronger in the middle. They had a better plant foot in the middle.
Yeah.
So I think they played to the field conditions, to be honest. And going back to that last play, it was definitely designed. All right. The receiver probably, to me, did a better job than the quarterback, because the quarterback laid it up, right? But the receiver's got to sell it too. So it was a double move. He came out straight. He faked post. He stuck his foot in that dry ground and went flag. And then, the ball was already in the air. The ball was in the air when he came out of his break. You know what I'm saying? And so the receiver did a great job. And then, Ricky did a great job getting back there. And I don't know, man. I know we got some people in Sinton. They're probably gonna give me crap about this, but bro, when you go slow mo on that huddle video, and you go frame by frame by frame by frame, and you go and I think his knee might have been down. You guys go look at that, man. On that last frame, it looked like his knee was down, and the next frame he extends the ball over. And of course, there's no pylon cam or anything like that to prove it. But I went and the angle that the huddle video gives, I just, frame by frame and I don't know. Hey, but whatever, they won. It was a great play. I think it was a better play by the receiver, honestly, than it was the quarterback. The quarterback, he did roll left, but it wasn't much pass. I don't think he passed the hash marker, anything that deep that got Ricky totally discombobulated. It might have been 1, 2, 3, and he said it was total timing. I'm sure they worked on that play over and over, and a great call by Coach Troutman going to that. All right, because I mean, you think about that, he's going for the win, right? I mean, because they're driving, they weren't moving the ball much down there, whatever, but they go for the win. Was it 4th down?
No,
It's 4th
I
down.
don't think so.
No,
They had just got a first down. Remember,
I
they
don't
just
think it
got
was
a
a
first
fourth
down.
down play. Yeah.
oh, okay.
They had just
It was
got a
more
first
like
down.
time was running out for him.
I guess so, right? I mean, after it was 20 seconds that they left us afterwards, but hey, man, great individual effort. Like I said, McAllister had 18 tackles. Joe had 17. Krupa was there for 12. There was a lot of big hitting, man. That's what I saw. There was a lot of aggressive play by both teams. Big hit after big hit. I was, so happy that we all
I'll
walked
tell
out
you
of
what,
there
Renee
healthy.
finally got a good team to hit on.
Oh yeah. Oh, he got touched. He got touched. And he did the old coach, give me a play. A couple of times he had to come off the field. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they were touching him.
You know what? Steve might be right though, Tony. It might have been a 4th down now that I'm thinking about it.
It was
Because he
4th and long,
called
and they got
because
they
he
got a
called the
first down right before
timeout.
that.
He called it, because he called the timeout. And I saw the interview that they had with Troutman on the track after the game, and I caught the ending. I have to go back and look at it, but he said the boys wanted to go for it, so we went for it, and boom. So Steve might be right. We have to look back. It might have been a 4th down play. Not sure. But I know they called the timeout, came back, and then they threw that pass.
I know there was a couple of drives
first
like
down
that.
on that pass that you're talking about. They got a first down on that one.
It
When they
was
called
4th
that
down.
timeout,
It
they
was
got a
4th
first
down.
down.
It was 4th and like 15.
Yeah, because they called the timeout.
That's when they
and
got the first. I'm
It
watching
was
it right
4th
now.
and 15.
I'm watching it.
It's
Oh,
4th.
they got a first down, and they got a first down right before they threw that touchdown pass.
It was like 4th and 15.
Okay,
I'll take a look
I'm
at
watching
it.
it right now.
I saw it today.
I'll take a look at it.
I
I'll
saw
take
it
a look.
today on McAllister's comments.
Oh yeah.
Click on
Um,
because somebody
But you
mentioned
guys-
about that interference there.
you guys are talking defense, right? Tony, you talking
Okay.
defense?
Yeah, defense.
Rockport's defense. First of all, hats off to Coach Robbins and those boys and those coaches. They had those boys. God, you can't ask for a better defensive performance for 4 quarters than what you saw from these guys. They were well prepared. You could tell these guys were well prepared. And you knew, and I said this on the podcast, as long as our D line doesn't get blown off the line, they don't really need to make plays. Those linebackers are going to eat them up. Look, Rene Galvan is fast. Man, I watched the film. I couldn't see actually happen live. When I went back to that video, man, Joe Moreno could parallel from his position. He could catch Galvan before he got to the outside. That's amazing. Joe had a great game. We had him on the podcast, and he said he felt really comfortable. They had these guys focused. The coaches had these guys. They knew what Sinton was going to do, and they were prepared. But Coach Seibert said that he thought last year they were more physical. Whew. They weren't physical this year. That line for Sinton is big. And these boys, our D-line, our linebackers, our front seven, they're physical. And they played, and they were prepared. And I mean, it's hard to keep those two guys from breaking. And they had their moments, but nothing spectacular. So I give my hats off to Coach Robbins. Having these guys prepared, did a great job. And I think that's going to help us. That defense, the way they played, you play like that in the playoffs, we're going to go a few rounds. You're going to need that defense to play like that against the Wimbleys, the Cueros. I think when we go to the pass, what I like to see more is physicality from our corners. And I understand that we can't do that. You give up a lot. I hear a lot of guys saying, they got to play up. When you're giving up, 4 or 5 inches, it's hard. A height advantage, you can use your height advantage to get the ball. It makes it that much easier. It's just we don't have those corners that are 6'2", 6'1". We just don't. These guys, both Devin and Ricky, are short in stature, of course, compared to some of these guys they gotta cover. So you do what you can do. But I thought Ricky played a great game. He got beat on that last play. It happens. But overall, the effort was there. Great throw, like you said, Tony. Rene Galvan made a good throw, and he had to, and he did. And he threw it up there. I think, hoping, can my guy come down with it? And he came down. And game over. He can't do that with 20 seconds. But I don't think it takes anything away from the way Ricky played or that he didn't do something good or, he could have done something better. It's easy for us in the fans, but he's there. And I don't know what was going on in his mind, but he tried to recover, did the best he could. Great play by the quarterback, and receiver caught the ball and, got in the end zone. 20 seconds doesn't give us enough time to come back. But if we meet these guys again, I look forward it to be another great game. And this time it won't be in Rockport or Sinton. It'll be a neutral place. But great game by our defense. And I just, hats off to Coach Robbins. He really had his guys and his assistants. They really had these guys focused. They must have watched film. He had his boys prepared. And they played a great game. Came up a little short on the scoreboard. Doesn't take away from the way that they played this game. Great game.
Oh, absolutely. Defensively, as a fan, you have to be satisfied with the effort those boys put on. The show that those guys put on, you have to be satisfied because, they did an excellent job. They did an excellent job in the box. Secondary, they didn't give up a ton of yards. They gave up, 200 yards to a freaking quarterback that's throwing freaking, bombs every other game. You know what I'm saying? So they did not. They did excellent. It was an excellent game. So the next thing that I want to talk about, we talked about the offense. We talked a little bit about the defense. Let's go on to special teams. Johnny, I know you're a defensive guy. You're a special teams guy. What are your thoughts about the special teams? Did you see something that you liked? Something you wish you would have seen? Something you wish you hadn't seen? What? Tell me what you think.
Hey, Tony, I bet you anything, Tony. I bet you anything. Johnny's watching the Dodgers and Cardinals. He's looking at some. I bet you he's watching the Cardinals and Dodgers.
Okay. One thing I thought was gonna come back and haunt us, it didn't matter because Sinton ended up scoring a touchdown. Was when we were at 4th down on about the 20, 25-yard line, instead of tipping the field goal. I don't know if y'all can recall that.
Mm-hmm.
And we got stopped. And it came out with nothing, I thought that was going to come back and haunt us. Again, it didn't matter at the end, because Sinton ended up scoring a touchdown. But that was crucial. That those were points. Those were points there. They were there. We rely on our kicker all year. This game wasn't end of the season, but this was a good game for him to put him under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
This was a hell of a game to put him under pressure. Again, you go for the district championship, but hey, you're there. The points are there. I was very shocked that we didn't go. We didn't go for the field goal on that one. Then I like the move that he's now the punter. I love that. That kid's, again, I said it last week, it's just like a drop kick for soccer. He's got great height on that ball, gives our offensive guys, or now turning to defense, coverage guys to get downfield, before we're just having flat hits, about relying on the bounce or whatever. But you get a ball high like he does, that gives the defenders lots of time to get down there, so that kills any kind of good return off a punt. Kickoff, I didn't see no negative, no positive on that. I want to go to that attempted onside kick. I was really shocked that we didn't go to what we did in Raymondville. That even though we got called for, I guess you want to say, I don't know what they call that when they don't blow the ball in play.
Yeah, they didn't blow it. They didn't start the clock. Yeah.
They didn't call it. They call it ball in play. I think that's something we need to work on. The team did it perfect. They did it perfect. They were all there. I mean, if you're that front guy, you got 9-10 guys coming at you. You're getting a little nervous. And you're wanting that ball to come. You don't know whether to go for it or not. You want to get it on a good bounce. I think we need to stick with that if we really need it. I just think we just gave them the opportunity that here it is. We're going for it. We're going to give all these front guys a chance to get that bounce. I guess, that nothing negative about how we did that outside kick, but I do like the other one that we did because it looked more successful that we did it and we got that ball back, even though it didn't count. Than how we attempted this one where it didn't even look like we were close for it. So
it didn't get the bounce. It didn't get the bounce he needed. It didn't get that high bounce. Yeah.
Right.
If it bounces one more time, it's ours. If it bounces one more time, it would have been ours. But it didn't. It didn't get that. It didn't get that second hop.
And see, on this one, it's almost like he has the touch, that right touch to get that ball to where all you guys are running down with the ball. But that one you're just relying on a good bounce. He was successful doing that little squib kick before. Why not try that again and another time? So he's basically 1 for 1 on one way, he's 0 for 1 the other way. So I just think something like that should kind of stick around a little bit. Something to keep in your back pocket.
Okay. All right, Steve. What do you think about the special teams? Do you see anything special on either side of the ball? Something that you think would have made a change? I mean, it would have made a difference.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, and it didn't bite us in the ass this time, but it could down the road. And again, I think by me saying this, Jay understands, what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? We're on this podcast and we're talking football, and you speak to what you saw. So I think Ricky needs to make up his mind when to call that fair catch. I thought every time that he settled underneath the ball, he was taking unnecessary gambles. He wasn't
scaring us.
He wasn't going.
Too.
Yeah, he wasn't going with the fair catch, or you know what I'm saying, or he'd call it super late, or he'd go and try to catch the ball a little bit. I think he thought about it and let me go get it, and then kind of went to go try to catch it at his shoe tops, and he muffed that one where he was able to get on top of it. I just think he needs to just do a better job making up his mind at those crucial moments. You know what I'm saying? He took a big hit on one where he didn't call a fair catch at all and got drove. I just think luckily, like I said, you know what I'm saying, we recovered all the balls, or he caught every one that he was planning to catch. But I mean, I just think those are risky plays. I understand if he lets it bounce, he might give up some field position, but so fair catch it, do it early and catch the ball and settle for whatever they give you. It was never a situation where they were pinning us deep, where, you let it bounce or something. We were never like that. I think all the kickoffs, he was settling underneath 25, 30-yard line. It was never where he's backed up in the end zone. And I just think it was, a little bit too many risks that he was taking out there with the ball. You applaud it if you got a big run. Now, if you got a big run, I'd be like, yeah, Ricky. But, I just think that, luckily that didn't come back and bite us in the ass. But, the punt was good. I thought, like Johnny said, I thought the move to the kicker, putting him at the punt was a great job. He really gets the ball up high and gives us a chance to get down there. So, I mean, other than that, that's what I saw on special teams, and I was clenching my teeth every time. I'm like, oh, Ricky. But like I said, no harm, no foul, I guess. But I just think that maybe the coach is getting his ear this weekend and say, hey, make your mind up. We don't want you not to be you. That's what makes Ricky so dynamic, is that, he's gonna come up with some big plays, but just make that decision a little sooner, give us a little head up, so that's what I got.
So I'm gonna go to the for the play Johnny was talking about with the decision not to kick a field goal. I know Johnny said it didn't matter anyways because they scored a touchdown. But let's think about it like this. Let's just hypothetically think about it like this. What do you think if we're sitting in the fourth quarter and the score is 24-21 with 25 seconds left and you're Sinton and you have to make a decision, you're down by 3 points. What do you think? Do you think they still go for the shot at the end zone, or do you think they try to tie it? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
But
I think the plan changes.
Yeah, totally different scenario. Totally different. You're talking about a game-winning drive versus let's get the first points of the game on the board.
No, you said
different. Totally different.
No. You're saying that those points didn't matter because they scored a touchdown in the end anyways and beat us. But I'm saying, what happens if we get those 3 points and it's 24-21 with 25 seconds left? Do you think Troutman goes for the tie, or do you think he still goes for the win? I think there's a decision that's made, and there's some.
You just heard Gabriel that Troutman did ask his kids. They all
that was to go.
win.
But the difference between that is if they don't score, it's tie, and we go to overtime. If they do score, they win. That wasn't that big of a decision to make. Do we go for it? Well, yeah, if we make it, we win. If we don't make it, we tie and we go to overtime. That's not that big of a decision. But if you're down 24-21, the decision is different. Hey, coach, we could get it on the 10-yard line and let's kick a field goal and let's tie it up. I don't know. I don't know what the chatter is on the sideline if they're in that situation. That's what I'm saying. We can't say that those points.
I take the points.
The way that kicker was kicking the first field goals.
Right, Johnny.
If the way that kicker kicked his field goals, I wouldn't put that kid on the line.
Right.
He was not consistent. Right. He was not consistent.
Well, he could kick a PAT, and if you could get him on the 10-yard line, it might have been close. I'm just saying. If in a close game, if there's points there, you take points. That's all I'm saying. And if it's 24-21 in the fourth quarter, I think that last timeout they talk about something else. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's true, but I'm saying, and here's the other thing about that. We drove the ball down the field. If we kick a field goal, the momentum is on our side. We go to the sideline, we kick the ball off. If they stop us, the momentum shifts to their side. And that's what happened. The momentum shifted to their side because they made a stop in the red zone. Okay? Right. We shifted the momentum from that drive to the Sinton sideline because they stop us on fourth down in the red zone. That's a shift in momentum. So it's not just we didn't get those points and it didn't bite us in the end. We kind of did. It bit us early because the momentum shifted in that play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're there. You want to get the points. Because you don't know how that game's going to come out. You don't know. I was expecting 14-10, 14-7.
I think we all agree that he should have kicked the field goal.
Well, I don't know, Johnny.
Johnny said that he would have went, but he's just glad that it. His thing was that he said that he was glad that it didn't bite us in the ass at the end.
But we should have. So you agree we should have got the points? I didn't get that clear from you.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know Jay Cyber, and he's come on this podcast before, and he's aggressive, and he's let us know why, and he'll kick the field goal sometimes, but he's gonna go for it. He said, he has trust in that offense, especially with those backs. If it's 4th and 2, he's gonna go 90%, 95% of the time, and he came on this podcast and he said, "I'm gonna go." I mean, we know he's aggressive, and he's told us why he likes it. He's gonna put the pressure. So in a situation, I think where it's games on the line, then yes. But early on in the game, I think most of the time you're gonna see him go. If it's a 4th and 3, 4th, I mean, he's just gonna go.
it wasn't a 4th and 3 though. It was 4th and goal, and we were like on the 9. It wasn't
That's
like
what I'm
it was
saying.
4th and 3.
But his mentality is touchdown. It's not field goal. He's not conservative at all. He's not going to play the 3. He says, I got my offense. I got these backs. And when I heard him when we first came on, he said, I'm going to do it. I mean, if it's 4th and 2 and he can kick a field goal for 3 points early on in the game, or you can get the touchdown, I think 9 times out of 10, you can put that offense. Well, we've seen this over and over with him, and like he says, I win some and I lose some, but I think he's going to go more when it's that early in the game. You're going to see him leave that offense to try to get those 2-3 yards versus taking that field goal.
Well, this is the first thing I told my wife after that play. I said, "Man, I appreciate his aggressiveness, but I would have got 3." That's all I said, because it wasn't just about do you get points or do you not get points. It's about shifting the momentum. Like I said, they drove the ball down the field. If we put points on the board, we run to the sideline, we're cheering, we're hooping, we're hollering, we still got the momentum. Sinton makes a defensive stop. The momentum's on their sideline. They come back on offense and drive it down the field. I'm just saying, we shifted the momentum from Rockport side to the Sinton side when they stopped us in the red zone. That's all I'm saying. And yes, it was early in the game, but that's when we needed the momentum to build from the beginning. And that's where we saw the 0-0 in the first quarter and the 7-0 at halftime, because the momentum did keep shifting because both teams made big plays and big stops. Both teams made stops in the red zone. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, when that's going on, and who we didn't know how close the game was going to be, of course, I know it at that time of the game. But if you put points up, Sinton starts to play from behind. And then when you play from behind, you start to do things that are unconventional to the things that you do. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Especially in a close game like that. You'd think they wanted to be 3-0 in the first quarter, they would have been trying to do things they don't normally do. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is I would have taken those points. So second thing that was on that play. Second thing I want to talk about is about the shift of the punter, the kicker to being a punter. I'll tell you what, if we didn't have a punter that could get us a 40-yard punt, and field position would have, if they would have had better field position, because before we were kicking 10 and 15 yards, 20 yards was probably a max, maybe 25 on a punt. That's giving up a lot of field. But this guy brings that to the table where the ball's high and the ball is deep, and it gives our guys time to get down there, and it gives us better field position defensively to guard the other team. Because I think it's a great move. Whoever made that decision was a great choice, because like Johnny said, he's already used to kicking the ball. Give him the ball. You know what I mean? And he's doing a great job. Not that the punter before was doing a terrible job, but especially in games like this where it's close, we need to try to give our defense a better chance. And I think this new punter gives us that. So as far as the special teams, that's what I saw. That was my take. Gabriel, did you want to add anything else?
No, you guys covered just about everything. I'll just be repeating what some of you guys already said, but no. I mean, I understand what you're saying, though. I mean, the points do matter. And I'm not saying that Coach Cyber won't kick it, but he's been on this podcast and he said, I'm going to go. I mean, I just think that's his mindset, especially when he's got backs like Chupi and Devin and Luke, where he says, hey, man, I can get these. I think he's thinking long-term like that. But I see your point, too. I mean, when you can get 3, it does changes, because you don't know how the game's going to go, right? It does make that other coach, have to decide when you're playing from behind. But I don't think you're going to see early on the games when it's 4th and 3. I don't think you're going to see that field goal kicker out too many times. He's going to go for it if he's on this side of the 50.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. So that was offense, defense, special teams. Did I miss anything on that breakdown, y'all? Did everything?
No, you got everything. Yeah.
Okay. So just really quick, we'll go over the game they got this Friday in Rio Hondo. Johnny, do you have any thoughts on this game? I know they haven't played yet, and Rio Hondo hasn't done nothing impressive. I mean, do you have any? Is there something you would like to see out of the offense or the defense in this game? Because it's I think they're gonna steamroll them. So
I
something that you
personally
would
think
like to
they're going
see.
to steamroll them too. I just hope to see like some perfection. Not perfection. I mean, these guys know what they're doing. I just don't want to see these guys. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want our guys to play to their level. You know, you play a sloppy team like this, a lot of times the teams play just as bad. Games ain't the Tolosa Midway game. You know, hopefully we don't play to their level. You know, blow it out first quarter. Scored a 28 points in the first quarter. You know, I have very confidence in that happening. Put this game away. I like to see something like that. I don't think Rio Hondo really has a chance with us, especially us coming off battling some great athletes from Sinton, you know, all around the board, you know. So I hope our guys play the same way they played against Sinton, but not play the same caliber, stepping down with Rio Hondo just because they're not Sinton. You know, take that game, take every game. Hopefully they take that game just like they went into the Sinton. Big game, huge game. Let's blow it up. Hell, we're in fourth place right now. You know, on paper, we're in fourth place. You know, we got to get back up there. We need to blow this team away. Show this district who we really are, you know, because all of a sudden we're playing for district championship one week, and here we are sitting in fourth place on paper, you know, but we know we're not in fourth place, you know. But, you know, this is a good game to just play like you played against Sid, show that, you know, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. So I guess what you're saying is you want to see a well executed game. You want to see everyone clicking on all cylinders, and you want to see the offensive scoring like they're supposed to. You know what I mean? That's what you're saying, right?
Right.
And I think you're right. They're perfectly capable of doing that. And I think this is the kind of game that they need to have to get back to get your mojo back. I mean, man, I remember playing football. You lose a game like it might stick with you for a little bit, you know what I mean? But it's time to shake that nastiness off and go and beat the crap out of someone. And this is that team that you could do that, you know, go and beat the crap out of them. Let 4 or 5 guys score a touchdown. Let the defense score a touchdown again. I mean, this is that kind of game that they need. I mean, because you're right. You know, one week and 1 week we're playing for the district title. Next week we're playing to stay in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? In fourth place. So, you know, and Rockport's definitely not the fourth place team in this district. I mean, by far. But they need to go out there and play that way. And that's what I think needs to happen this week. They need to go out there and play like the first place team and blow the stinking socks off of Rio Hondo. And I think they can do it, and I think they're gonna do it. And I hope that they go out there and they have fun doing it. And that's what they need. They need a game like this to go out there and execute like that and have a lot of fun and like I said, spread the love around. To let them you know, throw a couple of touchdown passes. You know, 5 different running backs score. You know, 2 guys on defense score. I think this is that kind of game. So, Steve, what are your thoughts? What do you want to see this game? What do you think about this?
So my what I want to see changed right after last week, because you know, looking, you know, and I could do that. I'm not a player. When I saw Sinton, then I see Rio Hondo. I was like, okay, well, we're gonna roll them, right? And regardless, whatever we go out there and do, but this is what I want to see now this week after the Sinton loss. So Rio Hondo is going to attempt to come out and throw the ball. They're a passing team. So, you know, they run a spread and they're going to try to throw the ball. And the same thing I said to you guys about, you know, the league being copycat league, people are going to have our tape and they're going to try to do the same thing. Well, they're going to try to do the same thing on offense as well. So what I saw against the Sinton and, you know, and shame on me for not bringing it up is our coverage on the edges. And you know, our inability to make tackles at times or not make tackles at first contact. And you know, the guy was slippery and they were sliding off or whatever it might have been. We weren't making tackles on the edges when those receivers hit those little quick screens. So I'm looking for that. They're gonna come out and they're gonna try to do that. They're gonna throw it to Ricky's side. They're gonna throw it to the edges, and they're gonna see if we play that off coverage, see if we can break a tackle and go down the field. So I look for us to make adjustments on that, because that's what they're going to come out and do. Although they're more along the lines of kind of like Aranz's pass, want to throw the ball type of team. You know what I'm saying? That's their MO. That's what they want to do. Obviously it's going to be hard for them to be successful at it, because I think our pressure is going to get to the quarterback before all that stuff happens. But I want to see the Cowboys. Look at that, bro. I want to see the Rockports make that adjustment and maybe press sometimes to get them out of that, quit giving those teams confidence that they're going to be able to throw that quick screen, take it away from them, and mix the coverage up. Obviously, you don't want to get stuck and humdrum or change anything, but just mix it up a little bit on that outside coverage. That's what I would like to see out of our corners. A little press coverage, mix it up here and there, back off, or, they're going to go 3 wide. I watched tape. They're going to go 3 wide. They're going to, catch that little bubble screen and try to get behind their blocking. And they're going to try to stretch it out too. I mean, they do it all. It was against some other terrible teams, but they were doing it. They have the capability. So that's what I'm going to be watching. Be watching that our defense goes out there and takes away that quick screen pass and really shut them down. I think, I want to see that. And obviously I want to see a huge blowout, but I want to see them make that adjustment. The coaches told me going in, we got sent this week. They're, a passing team. And then, the following week they got who was that? I think the running back coach. Somebody told us that this
Elizondo
said it. Hey, we got, this Rio Hondo's a passing team. And, so that's going to give us another opportunity to get a look at, they're more of a true spread. Sinton gives the illusion of a spread team, but they're really not a spread offense. They don't run that. You know what I'm saying? That's not what they do. They just, they stretch you out. They make it look like it, but they're really not. They're a running team. This team's not. This team's a passing team. So I want to see them. I want to see our boys make better plays on the edges. Tackle. I mean, they're making great plays in pass defense and stuff like that. But I'm talking about tackling. First contact, bubble screen, get there and wrap it up and pull them down. You know what I'm saying? We were falling off the guys in set last week. So that's what my focus is going to be on this weekend.
Gabriel, what about you for this game Friday night?
Yeah, I want Steve. I mean, we're gonna beat them. We're gonna do what Rockport does. I mean, I don't see Rockport letting up. The Rockport will do what Rockport does. But on the defensive side, I'm with Steve. I want to see how we're gonna cover. We've got to get better. We can't give, in my opinion, given playing back. Sometimes you can recover from some of the teams like Rio Hondo, maybe that, their timing, maybe some of these teams that their timings aren't like right on, and they throw the ball. They're still learning how to throw the ball. We play back 6-7 yards. I've never been a big fan of that because you get accustomed to playing that way. And you play the good teams. You can't give the good teams 6-7 yards. You can't do that. Consistently, they're going to go down the field. It's too easy for them. And the quarterback gets in a rhythm. And then you struggle. The corner struggles. So we've got to make some adjustments, I think, to make them work for the pass. Make them work for it. Make them work for 4 yards. Because just going back, stepping, getting, 3 yards, and then you turn in a little quick pass, 11, 12 yards. It's not, we may still win and beat Rio Hondo if they do it. But we're going to lose to the Cueros and the Wimberleys if we play that way. So we've got to make some adjustments. For me, this is all preparing for the playoffs. I don't want to look too ahead because we still got Ingleside, very good team that if we lose focus could come in, beat us. With Oso, we talked about these guys. Well, they're no joke. They got a quarterback. We talked about him. So I don't want to look to the playoffs just yet because we still got some teams that we got to beat. They got good offenses, good athletes. But the way we start playing now with this game all the way in, I think it's going to tell us how we're going to do in the playoffs, because Wimberley passes. And we can't give them 7-8 yard cushion. We just can't do that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how or what adjustments are made from our secondary coach. But I think we've got to take a look at that and see how we want to play that. Now, the coaches may not give it all away. They might be doing that in practice and not give it away just yet, because these coaches know who we're going to have in the playoffs. But like Steve says, and I'm with him, I want to see something on the field that's a lot different than what we played against Sinton. What are we going to do to make sure that we just don't give them those and they turn in a 2-yard pass to an 11, 12-yard game, because it kills us. So I'm going to look for that as well. But other than that, yeah, I think we're going to go into Rio Hondo. And I think the boys don't like the taste of losing. They want to get back to the win streak. So I think, they're going to come in and we're going to play Rockport ball. And I think we're going to win and win big.
I like to see the opening kickoff as a little squib kick.
All right. So just real quick before I hand it over to you, Steve. So the freshmen also played Sinton last week, and they lost 44-18, but they're still 4-2 on the season. And then the JV played Sinton. It was a little bit closer, and they lost 14-6, but they're also still 4-2 on the season. This week, the JV, correct me if I'm wrong, they got San Diego, and then the freshmen have Veterans Memorial here at home. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. Think that's all I got. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I got from the JV, the freshmen, and then the varsity. Steve, did you? I know you wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on in the youth. Go ahead and let everyone know what's going on in the youth.
Yeah, so a quick update on our RFYFL. So last week was a bit of a tough week for them. They 3 of the 4 teams took a loss last week. We have one team that won, but here are the scores from last week. So the freshmen took a loss 36-6. They played a really tough Sinton team. Their record moves to they're 2-3. No, 3-2. I'm sorry. They moved to 3-2 on the season. The sophomore took a loss last week as well. They played Sinton team too. They lost 40-0. They're 0-3. They've yet to get off the snide. We're looking for them to get off this weekend though. We got a home game coming up. The juniors were the sole winners last weekend. The juniors won 31-6 to improve their record to 3-1. And the seniors took a loss, their first loss last week as well, to a very tough Orange Grove team. I went to that game. Those guys were really big, Orange Grove, and they did a phenomenal job. Orange Grove takes the win 27-6. That moves the senior record to 2-1. They had an early season bye, and they had a game canceled on them. So they're a bit behind everybody. That was only their 3rd game of the season. And the sophomores as well, they had a bye. This week we have home games. We'll be in Rockport Stadium this Saturday, starting at 8:00. The Rockport freshmen line up against Gregory Portland. The freshmen are 2-2, by the way. I think I gave the record at 3-2. They're 2-2. They play a tough Gregory Portland team that's 4-0. Kickoffs at 8 a.m. Gates open at 7. So get there early. The sophomores play Mathis. Mathis is they bring an 0-4 record to the game. Their kickoff time is at 10:30. The juniors play Cal Allen. Cal Allen's going to be an undefeated team, so that's going to be a really, really good game between 2 tough teams. Our juniors are 3-1, like I said, and Cal Allen Maroon are 3-0. Kickoff for that game's at 1:30, and the seniors play Sinton, which is a really, really big rivalry matchup. These guys have been battling Sinton for years and years and years, and these 2 teams in particularly as far as the players and the coaches, they've all been the same for years and years. So Sinton comes in undefeated, and kickoff time's at 5:00, and that's going to be a great game. There's 3 other games besides this one. They'll be hosting a total of 7 games. The other 3 games will be, out of town teams, both playing here. I didn't get that in time from Ronald, but there'll be a total of 7 games. Like I said, first kickoff starts at 8:00. Come out and support. I know they'll have their concession stands open. They'll be selling hot dogs, hamburgers, and they also got a couple of briskets donated by some local folks, and they'll be selling brisket sandwiches out there. They'll be doing raffles throughout the course of the day. They've got some cowboy paraphernalia to sell, and to raffle off. So get out there and get registered for that raffle, and try to rent some Cowboys gear. I think they got some jerseys. They also got some signed helmets and stuff like that donated. So come out, enjoy a good weekend of football. All money proceeds go to RFYFL, and so we're looking forward to a big crowd. I know they're going to have some super competitive games out there this weekend. There's some undefeated teams mixed in there, so it's going to be a really competitive week of football. And if you ain't got nothing to do, if you're tired of being at the Seafair and you want to kind of unwind, maybe go to the Seafair for a little while, because we're all about Rockport all the way around. So go spend some money over there, but save a little bit for RFYFL and come join us down there and catch a football game. You won't be disappointed. So. And we'll be there live. The Pirates Cove, we'll be out there live. We'll be, might run some games live, might comment on some games. I know I do the over the loudspeaker, but maybe I could do both, and we'll see how that works. So we're going to have fun with it, whatever it is, however we work it out. We're going to have lots of fun. So come out and show some support.
Awesome. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty full day of some pretty good football.
Yeah.
For everyone watching, Steve, so gates open at 7. You pay to come and watch the first game. You got to pay again to come and watch the senior game. How does that work for the people that are watching?
No. So it's $3 at the gate. Children under 12. Under 12 is free. So 12 and up, you got to pay $3 along with the adults. And you come, you stay all day. Yeah, you come, you stay all day. You get a stamp. So you catch a game early. If you catch your grandson playing a freshman team, 8:00, you get stamped. You come back for that senior game. If you got another grandchild playing, come back later in the afternoon and catch that game as well. So yeah, awesome. No, it's going to be a whole day full of a lot of great football and tons of fun.
That sounds good. Sounds like they're gonna have some good food, some good prizes to win, and some good football. So I think Steve is absolutely right. Come and watch a game, go to the Seafair, come back, watch another game. It's Rockport's gonna be busy. So plenty to do this weekend, but definitely come out here and support the youth football team. They've been working really hard this season, and they got some winning records down there. So come out there and watch them.
Hey, Tony.
Gabe, I think that's all I got. Well, yes, sir.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
Let's all go to the Spasmatics on Saturday, man. I love me some Spasmatics. I know y'all love some Spasmatics. What do you say? Am I going to see the crew out there, man? Have a good time out there with some 80s music. I mean, I'm down with that. I'm just throwing it out there on the podcast. The Spasmatics are scheduled to be here in Rockport on Saturday, and I always have a good time when I go see the Spasmatics. Something to think about, guys. And you guys let me know toward the end of the week after. Hey, Steve will be, if we get in that press box, Steve, we won't be out in the hot sun.
No.
After the game's over, we just travel down there and hear some good 80s music. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. You guys think about it. Let me know.
Johnny's already got his ticket. So, anyways, that's all I got, Gabe. I think I covered everything. Did I miss something?
Yeah, it goes to Johnny's segment.
Oh, Johnny, you're up. All right, Johnny, what do you got?
Okay, So some scores. Actually, there was no scores. Much of the state was Region 4 had a bye last week. The only games that were in the whole region was Hondo beating Comfort 41-21, and that was their first win of the season. And then old Austin Achieve. Actually, no, it was Maynard UTEC 20-17 over John Paul II. And those were the only two games in the whole region besides our district. But I could go over as far as like, because everybody's starting district this week. So I could go over some of the games that are playing. Again, these are all preseason records. Carrizo Springs 5-0 playing Divine 4-1. Bandera is 4-1 playing the 0-5 Crystal City. Hondo 1-3 playing the 0-5 Pearsall, and that's your District 15. Your District 14 is Navarro at 4-1 playing the 2-4 Manor. The 3-2 Wimberley playing the 2-3 Young Men's Leadership Academy. Austin Achieve is playing a non-district game against Eastside Early College. Then your District 13, which is something we got to look forward to. You got Cuero 4-1 playing LaGrange at 3-2. Smithville 4-1 playing the 2-3 Navasota. And then the 2-3 Gonzalez playing the 1-4 Giddings. You know, again, all these are preseason records, and a lot of these games were 5 games into the preseason. You know, that's quite a bit of preseason games for, you know, high school games. The thing is like, I know you had told me, Gabriel, last week about, you know, you said earlier not to look into playoffs, but last week you had brought up about, you know, where will we see Cuero, you know? Again, we were looking at as far as the district championship, how far we had to see before we saw Cuero. Well, if all things play out, you know, of course, Cuero probably win that district championship, and more likely Sinton or us are not going to lose to anybody else. But if we were playing for that district champ, if we did win last week, the 4th round would have been against Cuero. So that being said, again, nobody's going to beat us, and I doubt anybody's going to beat Cuero. So we would be playing Cuero in the 2nd round. The way that
bring
they
it,
fall
baby,
out.
bring it.
2nd round. Just a little thought.
Yeah. You know, the question is going to be, and we're going to keep an eye on Johnny. Who can give Cuero in their district the best game? Do you think?
It would be Smithville and LaGrange might hang a little bit. LaGrange is like comparing Rockport to Ingleside.
Yeah, I would say Navasota too, because you got to remember Navasota.
Yeah.
I had that roster last year. And they had a bunch of juniors on that team. So, you know, their record may not be as good as that team is.
That's a good game between Navasota and Smithville, just to see where they stand. You know, if they could compete against Cuero. You know, I like
that would be interesting. That's going to be an interesting game, because I remember looking at that roster. They had a bunch of juniors on that team. So,
and that's why I like Johnny to every week when he brings it up. You know, the followers, you know, they'll be in tune with what's going on. We're also keeping an eye on these guys. I know we're still weeks away, but we want to keep an eye on those districts too, to see more or less how is our playoff picture are going to play out. And I know Johnny's real good at keeping track of that and letting us know what's going on. Wow. Well, the 2nd round, you know, I mean, I think, like I said, Rockport's good enough to get out of the region this year. So, I mean, we played one of the toughest teams in Sinton. We'll see where they end up, but it's going to be a good playoff run, guys. So a lot of teams in that region that are really, really good. And so everybody's going to be battling it. It's going to be good for us to be able to follow this whole playoff picture. But yeah, I had heard that Cuero might be in the 2nd round. So it looks like if everything plays out like we think it is, then we'll meet them in the 2nd round. Very interesting. Johnny, what else do you got?
Basically, you know, I like picking the regions as far as the top schools in the regions, and they haven't changed. You got Carthage Region 3, Gilbert Region 2, Salina Region 1, and Navarro happen to be still the number 14, the number 1 team in the region, you know, but they're ranked number 8, you know, but the top 3 is 1, 2, 3. So it ain't much changing there, really. That's all I got for that. I like to see somebody jump in there at one time, but these are probably the same four. Other than Navarro, I'm not too thrilled about Navarro being higher ranked than Cuero, on that. So
we'll see what happens. And what do you got? Anything on volleyball?
Yeah, the volleyball team, they're getting better. They're impressive. They're sitting at 24-8, 7-0 in district. And I know you asked me this yesterday. They finally came out with the new state ranking, so they did bump up a spot to number 12 now. So they're number 12 in the state. Of course, we all know they beat Sinton 3-1, and they lost that first set, which was their first set in 13 sets that they lost. They had 13 consecutive sets, that have been winning. But they lost at 25-17, but they came back roaring back. It's like 25-9, 25-11, 25-11, and I think it just woke them up. What a great way to end that game against Sinton. And then you had Miller, which at one time I thought they were going to be a threat to us, but beating Sinton for the second time, I think within a week span, 25-17, 25-21, and then 25-10, So things are looking great. This Friday they got a bye, and next Tuesday they're playing against Port Lavaca, which it's going to be pretty much that district championship game. Rockport again got that bye, so they're 7-0, and Calhoun plays Beeville this week, so they're more likely going to be 6-1 after that game. So there's going to be 6-1 playing against 7-0 next Tuesday, which would be a great game. And I went ahead and looked ahead as far as the girls' playoff spots in the District 25. You got Needville at 7-0, Columbia at 5-2, Stafford at 5-2. Then you have Bay City at 3-4, and Sweeney at 3-4. So if season were to end right now, we'd be playing whether Bay City or Sweeney, both at 3-4. And Sweeney turned it on here the last week. They won 3 games this past week. They're 0-4. They went from last place to tied for 4th place now. So something's going on in Sweeney to where they woke up. So it's going to be a good street fight at the end there for that district.
Well, I think I know I'm going to the Calhoun game. I know Johnny said that he might go with me. Everybody else wants to come along. It's going to be a good one. And I agree with Johnny, and I think he's right. I think this is going to be, for the district, I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think it's going to be a good test for Rockport. And I see that the girls should win that game, but it's going to be a dogfight out in Calhoun on Tuesday. So anybody that wants to go with us, if Tony or Steve want to go, we'll take off. Game starts at 6, and we're going to go down there and watch it, live stream it. If I've never been to Calhoun, so I know some of these gyms don't get good reception, but if we get good reception, we have no problems. We'll live stream that game, the varsity game, because I think it's going to be a good one. So the plan is to be out there Tuesday for the volleyball game between the Lady Sandcrabs and the Lady Pirates. I do want to say, Johnny, that and guys that are freshmen in JV, man, they're on a roll. They just keep on winning. And they're not losing very many sets. I think freshmen won this last game on Friday or Tuesday off of forfeit, I think, or Friday. They didn't have enough players, so they won off forfeit. But the JV lost 1. I think they won 2-1 or something like that. But they're doing very good, our freshmen in JV. So, with the girls that are coming back next year, and then with what you're seeing with the JV and freshmen, volleyball looks like it's going to be good in Rockport for a long time to come. And now we're going to reach out to Coach Reyes too, because I heard she handles the volleyball in the middle school. We got Coach Haas. We definitely want to reach out to her, see if she has time and is available to come on. Let's talk about our girls at that level too. What of our middle school volleyball girls doing? Does anybody know how good they're doing? Steve, you have any idea how they're doing in volleyball?
Oh gosh, yeah, they're winning. I
What
know.
I see on Facebook, I don't know what their record is, but they're winning a lot.
I got friends in the 8th grade team and the 7th grade team, wow. And they're winning. I don't know their record offhand, but I know I haven't seen let's get them next time, girls. I ain't seen one of those posts in quite some time. So yeah. I think they're definitely winning more games than they're losing down there. And man, I tell you, they're phenomenal. I went down there. I watched the 8th grade game, and bro, they bring it. And so you're right. I mean, the tradition continues. We're just rolling over talent, man. I look for Simon's girl to make. I mean, she might make a varsity team next year, bro. She might just skip that freshman team. That's how good she is. So, things are looking good. There's no doubt.
We definitely want to bring some attention to them. So we're going to reach out to Coach Reyes.
Yeah,
hopefully
that'd
she'll
be
have
cool.
time. I know they're busy, but hopefully she'll have time to come in and talk about her program and talk about these girls. And, the future does look bright. Like I said, I see it on Facebook. I don't know what their record is, but they're winning more than they're losing. I'll tell you that.
On the Pirate app, it says that the 8th grade is 5-0, and the 7th grade is 4-1. They just lost to Sinton, the 7th grade, but the 8th grade A is undefeated, and the 7th grade A just took their first loss on the 4th against Sinton in 2-1. So
Volleyball, baby.
That's how they're doing down there in junior high. Yeah, one loss.
And then
between the two
and then we talked about what our freshmen and JV are doing, and then what our varsity. So volleyball looks really good next couple of years for Rockport. So guys, one more time before we call it a night. Anything you guys want to add? Anything you want to say before we go? Coach, I'll start with you and then come down to Johnny and Tony.
Oh gosh, let me see. No, I think we covered everything. Varsity level football, everything. I think we got covered today. Real quick, I want to say congratulations again to the volleyball girls and their accomplishments, Miss Howe and Miss Martinez for their accomplishments, and Val in winning her state ring. They gave her state ring this weekend there at Pirate Stadium during their football game. What a great accomplishment, and congratulations to Val, man. She did a great job. Powerlifting, by the way, she won state in powerlifting 148 class. And
how sweet would it be, Steve? Because she has an opportunity to go back to back.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. And we're going to keep an eye. I know you're going to be taking care of our powerlifting. We got some, that's going to be exciting too when you do that, but she's got an opportunity to go back to back, and it's just going to be awesome. Hopefully she'll continue. I'm sure she'll continue to work hard, and she gets that opportunity to make it back and bring another state title to Rockport and get another ring. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Johnny?
No, I don't got nothing really.
Have you decided about the spasmatics?
Johnny was already going, man. What the hell are you talking about?
Hey, I'll tell you
Johnny's one of the spasmatics.
Johnny's going to be under the tent. He's going to be under the tent somewhere. Tony?
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, everything that we said today is just our own opinion. It's not meant to offend or hurt anyone. We're just talking about our perspective from men that love football, what we saw, what we thought would have worked, what we thought wouldn't have worked. We're not the coaches. We're not on the field putting in the work. We're just the fans in the stands, just critiquing the game. But I just want to say one last time, it was an awesome game to watch. Both teams, they put on a really good show. Both teams are really good. Both teams are going to do good in the playoffs. And then I just wanted to make sure that I said that and that was clear. And then just good luck. Good luck this Friday to the varsity boys. Go out there and have fun and whip some butt. You know what I mean? And because that's what we're doing this for. And for the volleyball girls, I mean, just keep grinding. Work on finishing off district play and get ready for the playoffs, because y'all are on fire right now, and just keep grinding. So that's all I got.
Yeah, no, and I want to give you three guys, thank you for coming on the podcast, spending some time and helping me, get this off the ground and growing. I know sometimes it's difficult to say certain things because you don't know how certain people, we put ourselves out there, right? For criticism. You just never know. We're careful. We talk a lot. I have a lot of confidence. You guys, we didn't throw it out there. I wanted you guys on the podcast because I knew what you guys were doing. You've been loyal fans. You've got kids. We've all had kids. the four of us that have gone through this program. But I do always tell you guys, speak your mind, without offending or talking or putting down a kid or cursing or a coach. That's not what we do here. But I do want you guys to speak your mind. I know we're not all going to agree, but we agree to disagree. But you see the game, and you bring your thoughts out on what you think needs to improve. Or we're talking about the games based on what we see. We're not coaches. Absolutely right. So, hopefully nobody takes what we say wrong. We support our kids, we support Pirate athletics, and we love our school and our athletes. But I do ask the guys to, write their stats down, look at the stats, look at the videos, and then come on this podcast and talk about the stats and let the stats, back up what you say. But also I want them to give their opinion, not just the stats, what they see from a fan's point of view. And I've been saying that since day one. Speak from a fan's point of view. Doesn't mean we're right. Doesn't mean we know what we're talking about. Just as a fan. And I think these guys do an awesome job. And I just want to say thank you for coming and working hard and helping me, bring this thing and get this thing off the ground. So thank you for what you guys do. Second, the coaches, our volleyball coaches and our football coaches doing a great job. It seems like we're on our way for both making a deep playoff run. It's exciting. So I'm looking forward to a great game on Friday for our Pirate boys, and then seeing what our girls are going to do. They got a bye, like Johnny said, it's Friday, but Tuesday, big game against Calhoun. If you can't make it out to the game, GT Sports will be out there, and I'm definitely going to attempt to stream that game so you can catch it like you catch the football games on Friday. On Thursday, we're going to be here with the freshmen. We're not going to travel to San Diego with the JV, but we wish them luck. But we are going to live stream the freshman game here on Thursday against Veterans Memorial. And then, like Steve said, Saturday, if I have to work, we'll make arrangements, see if we can still live stream these games. But if not, as soon as I get off, I'm heading to the football field and I'll be able to live stream what we can. Hopefully, Steve, we can get some interviews with some of the coaches. I mean, we'll see how it works out.
Oh man, they'd love that.
But definitely when I get their live stream, hopefully we can get, if not the juniors, like I said, if I have to work, I definitely should be back for at least the senior game against Sinton. So we'll definitely live stream that one. It should be really good, lots of fun on Saturday at Pirate Stadium with our youth. And then, of course, like I said, we'll see what we do that Saturday night after the games. Hopefully the crew will join me with the Spasmatics. We'll see. Just joke around, but I do love the 80s music, and I am a big Spasmatics fan. Guys, that concludes our podcast here, Pirates Cove. I believe it was episode number 36. I want to give a thank you to Kaylee Howe, Peyton Martinez for coming out. They were honored on Friday for their accomplishments. Peyton Martinez, 500 digs and counting. Kaylee Howe, 200 kills and counting. Wow, these great two phenomenal athletes that we have on the volleyball team. And then, of course, we also had Valeria Ramirez, Val Ramirez. Congratulations to her on her accomplishment this past year. State champ powerlifting, and she's definitely looking to repeat and go back to back. And then, of course, we had Coach Hassel. Thank you to him for coming out and talking about his program and sharing some light on what they're doing down there and how hard he's working down there to get the kids ready for high school. So thank you to all the guests that came out. Thank you to you guys. Have a great night, guys. And I will see you on Thursday if you go to the game. If not, on Friday at Rio Hondo. Safe travels.
All right, guys. Good night.